In Columbus, Ohio State, playing in front of a national spring game record crowd of more than 95,000. Jim Tressel with the new look. Beanie Wells looking on, watching Terrell Pryor, who finds Brandon Sane here in the flat. Sane just shy of a first down. The Gray team would settle for a field goal. It's the Gray against the Scarlet. Gray on top 3-0. Then it's Pryor. Ray Small, 25-yard pass, 4 catches, 74 yards for Small. Same drive, Pryor trying to make a play. Tyler Moeller, junior linebacker. He was all over the field in this one. Now the Scarlet team with it. The backup quarterback, Joe Bauserman, handing off to Boom Herron. Boom goes to Herron, 18-yard gain. 10 carries, 43 yards for him. Then Pryor. Torian Washington. Pryor, 13 of 18, 191 yards and 2 touchdowns. Did most of his damage in the second quarter. Hits Washington again. 44-yard touchdown. Washington, 4 catches for 92 yards. And then after the Gray team successfully converted an onside kick, Pryor to Ray Small. And then check out the moves from Small, who spent a lot of last year in Jim Tressel's doghouse. He spent some time there in the end zone. 42-yard touchdown. And again, for what it's worth, the Gray team wins it 23-3. Ohio State will look to make it 5 straight 10-win seasons and BCS bowl bids this season. Certainly won't be easy, though, with the loss of all the star power that you see there. Of course, they've lost a lot of star power in other years, still stayed on top. In fact, of those 8 losses since the start of the 05 season, every single one of them has come against a team that ended up in the BCS. They don't lose to bad teams. All right, Coach, despite the loss of all the big games, expectations obviously sky high in Columbus. They always are. You're talking about a program that's been to 6 BCS bowl games in the last 7 years. What kind of expectations are fair for this Buckeyes team?
Well, let's talk fair. Let's get all 96,000 together and tell them.
You don't think fair enters into the equation?
Tell them to lower their expectations.
Right.
They're a talented team, but they're a young team. I mean, this talent needs some time to develop. Are they experienced enough to challenge for the national championship? I don't think so. Are they talented enough to challenge for the Big Ten championship? Without a doubt. And I think that is what a realistic and fair expectation is.
Well, I think if they set out with their goals, and I'm sure they've done this, to go out and win a Big Ten title, that's realistic. And I think if they can do that, that'll put them into the discussion of a national title, maybe. But they have to go out and be able to take care of things in the Big Ten first before they can start to get some of the accolades or some of their claims of being a national power.
And I think regardless of where they end up, assuming they're somewhere up there towards the top, fans in Columbus want to see it end a little bit better. I mean, they've lost 3 straight bowl games after winning 4 in a row before then. A good ending in a January bowl game, you probably feel pretty good about that for the Buckeyes this year with all they have to replace. But you certainly never, ever rule out a Jim Tressel team. Last year, we were coming in with all these questions at quarterback. We didn't know, would it be Todd Beckman, who was the incumbent there at quarterback, had led the Big Ten in passing efficiency the year before, or would it be the heavily hyped Terrell Pryor? Now we know, Coach, it's Pryor's team. We've talked a lot about his skill set and all the different things that he can do. What do you expect them to look like philosophically here offensively?
I expect them to look pretty much like they've looked the last 3 years philosophically. I thought there was going to be drastic changes when Terrell Pryor took over at quarterback at Ohio State. I was wrong. I think the changes are going to be subtle. When Jim Tressel recruited Terrell Pryor, he promised him he'd be a traditional quarterback that could work his way towards the NFL. And that's what you're going to see. Now, obviously, they're going to make some adjustments in the fact that he can move his feet and he can escape a rush. But a year ago, he was the second leading rusher on the team. I don't see that happening again. He's lost all of his receivers, or he's lost his 2 main receivers in Hartline and Rubisky, and I think that'll put even more pressure on Terrell Pryor to be a very good traditional quarterback and a very accurate traditional quarterback.
Well, he's been working at it, his accuracy, throwing the football, and I think he's going to be fine. But for me, I think the question has got to be at the linebacker position. When you talk about Freeman being gone, you talk about Laurinaitis being gone, you're not talking about trying to replace average football players. These were outstanding, great even football players for that program. Ross Holman is the only guy who actually has some experience, played last year, struggled at times a bit, but he really stepped up and made some plays. So you're going to need to have him out there, and you're going to have to find some experienced younger players to step in and make the plays. When you talk about the athleticism, we know that's there. But what they lack is the game experience, and that's always critical. It's easy to do it in practice. It's easy to do it on the scout team as well, when all you have to do is go pretend to be another player and go to a particular hole. Now they're going to be challenged with assignment football, and assignment football is much different than it is when you're trying to play on a scout team.
Certainly a lot to live up to for those guys, giving up just 10 rushing touchdowns combined the last 2 seasons as a team. No one else in the nation's given up fewer than 15. So Ohio State has been very stout, particularly at that linebacker spot.